Hey everyone, this is Jake, and today we are going to be talking about Sigma. She is one of the newest SSR units that will be added to the game, and she does change a lot of different tactics that you can use both in PvP and PvE. All I can say in the short term is she is definitely a really good unit that you do not want to miss. So as usual, we'll talk everything about her, and at the end I'll let you guys know my ultimate thoughts on Sigma. But anyways, let's jump into the video and let's talk about Sigma. So first thing is her basic attack. She shoots this laser doing 3 ballot hits, and this doesn't really do any damage, honestly. She's not a unit out there to do the damage, or she's more like a supporter unit sits on the back. She is basically a very good example of what the tower unit should be if you want it to be a support unit. And she is really good in that sense, and she is able to get the job done pretty well. So her passive skill is pretty simple. When she's out on the field, she gives buff to all the allies on the field, and they'll be taking 30% less type advantage damage, meaning class like defender would take less damage from ranger class. And she is also unhealable, so don't think you can heal her with some mechanic ships or other units that can heal mechanics. She is unhealable, so always remember that. And as you max out her skill, she will take less damage, and at the max skill level for the passive skill, she'll be giving also the 60% extra type advantage damage for your units. So with this passive skills, your units will take less damage from the types, and your units will do extra damage against the correcting type with this type advantage buff, which makes it really good, especially in PvE contents. In my opinion, it does definitely boost up the DPS against some of the bosses, especially with the scavenger died recently that I faced. And Sigma definitely really helps out to do more damage. As you max out her skill, if she dies away, she'll be returning 1 extra cost. That definitely makes her really good units to use, and this passive is basically a wholesome passive to have, and this passive skill alone is what makes her really good units. And her special skills after that is giving 1 cost every 24 seconds. Up till 3rd time she uses this skill, she is able to get the barrier that is 20% of her max HP for 10 seconds, which is pretty useful, and it definitely helps her to stay alive even though when she is keep losing HP. Just remember, every time she uses the special skills, she'll be losing 15% of her health. So she can't be just out on the field forever and keep giving you 1 cost every 24 seconds. With the maximum cooldown sets, I think it's like 12 to 14 seconds max. So it is pretty useful when you have a gear for her, and she'll be just returning a lot of cost for you. And when she gets to retreat after dying, she will return 1 extra cost. So she is really good supporter tower class that will sit on the back and give you nice passive damage bonus, as well as giving cost with her special skill. And with her ultimate skill, she is able to summon this machine god father, and as it gets deployed in the field, it will knock back enemies and do some AoE damage, and it will be summoned on the field, and any enemies around this machine gods will be losing 10% of their attacks. And as you max out the skill, it will be getting less cooldown time, and at the max skill level, it will be reducing attack by 20% with that aura that machine god has, and every time she uses this skill, she'll be getting additional 1 cost. So this, with all these passive skills and special skills, it is really good. She's just able to sit on the back, push the ship, so she doesn't really get damaged from any attacks, and she is keep able to fund you with the 1 cost every, let's say, 14 seconds, and she's able to spam with the ultimate skill and send the machine gods to disrupt the enemies at the front. So I honestly think her passive is more than enough to justify her cost, and her special skill is really nice addition to it as well, and her ultimate skill is just extra bonus on top of it. So even if you don't have the best gear on her, I think you will still find her really good in a lot of contents, and we'll start talking about how good she is within PvE and PvP contents. The best set for her is definitely the Maze or the Gorgeous cooldown set, and that should be able to give her 72% skill haste. With the maximum skill haste, she is able to spam more of her special skills to gain more cost. Not to mention, ultimate skill would also summon Machine God Father on the field to disrupt enemies. With the maximum skill haste, she should be able to spawn 2 Machine God Father pretty easily and able to get a lot of cost back for you at the end of the day. You can still use lower tier gears, but long as it's cooldown time and able to give some decent cooldown time, she should be able to do a very decent job But definitely having better gears on her, you will see definitely a bit more cost returning, as well as being more useful by summoning more machine gops onto the field. But she is pretty simple character to use. Her gears are pretty simple too. Just invest into cooldown sets and you should be able to get a very great result on her. Within PvE content, Sigma could be used in a lot of different places. Let's say for like a Consocian raid, she could be definitely used to gain some extra cost for you, along with the Lin Shan or other characters. And some of the harder challenging content is where she is actually going to really shine, where the enemies does have some types on them, so you are able to take type advantage damage on them. So it does definitely help you out when you're fighting against some of these harder challenging bosses, and having her would definitely improve the DPS, and she is able to give you costs as well, and able to summon Machine Godfather, which definitely should be able to disrupt the front line a little bit. But I think Machine Godfather is a little bit more PvP style types of skills, because in PvE enemies do a lot of damage and they definitely just destroy the Machine Godfather pretty easily. Where in the PvP, I think your units have a harder time fighting against the Machine Gods compared to PvE bosses. This is a pretty short clip, but honestly I think this clip alone should show you how hard these dungeons are. Sigma definitely helps you out to able to fight against these bosses, and your units will be doing more damage against these guys, and your units will be taking less damage as well against, let's say, sniper units, and your defender will take less damage from rangers. It's just really crazy buff that you will find it very useful in a lot of cases, especially let's say even something like a challenge stages, you will definitely find it very useful. But overall, I think this is very good units that you can use in PvE, and it is really easy to use as well. You can use it with the soldier comp, you can use it with the mechanic comp, you can use it with the counter comp, because the passive buff will give to every single unit. So it is really good units you can invest into, and honestly, it's one of the units that I can probably if I wanted to dupe, I can definitely dupe and have a lot of fun with it with every squad. I try not to dupe a lot of units, but she is pretty fun unit to use for your team. So definitely try her out with your PvE team, and I think you should be able to see pretty decent result out of it. So let's talk about Sigma within PvP, and first thing I want to talk about from is a Korean server perspective. Sigma is incredibly good. I think she is even better after Evolve 1 came out. She just helps your units to survive more and able to do more damage, while she is able to gain the cost, and enemies will be harder to kill her because you will be kind of blocked off by the strong defender just defending her pretty well. She does have some weakness, like Awakened Nibin is the pretty much tower killer. He has passive skills to reduce their HP, and he is able to move their barriers and do extra damage on them. So Sigma, after she uses special skills, if the Nibin appears on the map, she will lose a chunk of health because of her barriers, and she will start losing HP like crazy, disappear from the map. Now, I think Sigma alone as a leader is pretty good option to have, and even Nibin is not a perfect counter against it, because like I said, Nibin can delete her, but by the time she'll be already using her special skills, so she'll get the one cost, and when she disappears off the map, she'll be getting another cost. So in reality, I think she is just no-brainer use to really use. Now, if you're using a lot of tower units like the meta that's going to be alive within C server, then the Nibin will be pretty good counter against her. With the current Korean meta, she is not really used with other tower units. She is pretty much the only tower unit that is really viable at the moment. So she is really good units, I think, to this date with the Korean server, and everyone uses her basically every opportunity they get, and she is pretty fun to use, and you can definitely tell the difference when you have her, and with the type of advantage stuff coming in, you can definitely feel the difference in terms of damage wise. So really good ways to invest into her, and you should be able to have a lot of fun using her against a lot of different units, and especially with the recent deck in Korean server with the King setup, she was actually pretty helpful. I had a lot of fun using her with the King, and it was pretty fun. Now, when it comes to C server, it's going to be a very different story. There's going to be no counter against the tower units, and that's just the sad reality, and this is the time when you're going to start getting pissed off by all these campers. And the camper comps with Sigma and some other tower units like Miria is going to be pretty cancerous, and you have nothing to deal with it. Nibin is the only way to kind of counter them perfectly, and even then, even then it's going to be pretty hard to counter if you now even don't have a great defensive gears. So it's going to be a really tricky spot for you guys, but you guys just have to fight through it. It's going to be pretty cancerous meta for a while. I think a lot of people are going to be pretty annoyed with the Sigma. The Sigma Maria combo is disgusting, and I said it in my Maria review video, like when that time comes, you guys are going to be pretty annoyed. But it is also kind of fun. You just watch your Maria just demolish the front line, and your defender is just defending those 2 tower units, and you slowly start choking enemies because your Sigma is going to feeding more cost to your ship, and Maria is going to keep charging her skills and summon more things, and your Sigma summon more things, and your enemy is just like, what the heck am I supposed to do to break down this defender and get through them? It is going to be pretty hard. So when the Night Beam comes out, if you're in a high rank, just be prepared. It's gonna be pretty insane, and I think mechanic deck is only gonna get stronger with this, and when the Coffin 6 comes out, it's gonna be even more insane. But anyways, that is pretty much it on my opinion in Sigma in terms of PvP. I think she is really great units to this state in the Korean server, and with the C server she is just even more insane. So it's really up to you. If you really want to use her, go for it, and I don't think you'll regret even a little bit. So my final thoughts on Sigma. I think Sigma is gonna be really good units for everyone, and you guys gonna have a lot of fun using her, definitely both in PvE and PvP, and she is just flexible units that you can throw out her in anywhere, and her gear cut is definitely not the highest. It definitely has a high ceiling, so as you get more skill cooldown time, you definitely see that she's able to gain more cost. But if you are just looking to use her for the passive ability, I think she is more than good enough, and you're gonna have a lot of fun with her. At the end of the day, she is pretty worthwhile in terms of story aspect as well. You're gonna see her appear a lot of story again. I think she has pretty similar appearance, almost as a Isuyun in a lot of story aspects. So you better get used to Sigma because she's going to appear a lot, and I definitely really like her, and her event story is one of the best. Still really memorable how the event was started, how it played out. It started with just like mini games, and it played out pretty great. I really love the story, the way it was told as well. It was like reading a book almost, so it was really fun. But that is pretty much about it for my video for Sigma. I think she is very simple units, really good units. I think she is definitely really simple and easy to use units that is really good in any comps really. Not to mention she is really cute and really fun. She got really nice skins. She got nice range of skins, and definitely enjoy her in terms of story aspect as well. She's just really great character and very unique for counter side. You're not gonna find a character like her in a lot of different games. So use her and let me know what you think about her. I think you should have a lot of fun with her. Maybe a little bit cancerous with PvP, but that's what she is. She's our daughter. So anyways, thanks for watching guys. This is Jake. I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.